I don't have enough time. Feel that way? How does this feel, by the way, to everybody? It feels good to me. I have a pinched nerve in my neck. No, but just a deep breath. Seriously, do you feel that sometimes there's just not enough time to get it all done? Okay, that's what we're going to talk a little bit about. So, our goal in any of our businesses, whether you're a nonprofit, whether you're for-profit, whether you're a church, whether you're a Rotary Club, this Rotary Club and 100 other things going on at the same time are all vying for the same people to come and spend time here, right? You can only be in one place at a time. So how do we get through all this noise in what I call a constantly connected world? So what does that look like? Does it look a little bit like this as people walk around in our society? You know, that's what you see in the airport. That's what you see everywhere. We were talking about it at our table. I got to say, I'm starting to fall into that trap too. You know, you got to be careful remembering the human being, and that's what I want you to remember today, is the most important thing. But we've got, even though I use Twitter or LinkedIn or name all the things, and they're important business tools, that doesn't replace the human being, and people have gotten confused with that. So that's what we're going to be covering a little bit. We all have 168 hours in a week, 24 times 7. Nobody has any more time, nobody has any less time. So all the time when I'm consulting, I hear, Ryan, I just haven't had time to get this done. I do some adjunct teaching. Ryan, I haven't had time to get this paper in. Professor Sauers, we haven't had time to do this. And I say, you had enough time, you chose to do something else, right? Correct? I mean, you know, you chose to be here today. I chose to be here today. I left that Chick-fil-A thing 15 minutes early when some people were asking why I was leaving early, because I committed to being here. So I made a choice. Most cases you have a choice. So I want you to think about this. It's an acronym. TIME is total inundation of multimedia every day. Total inundation of multimedia every day. You cannot watch TV without stuff scrolling across your screen. Remember, if you remember, that started after 9/11. 9/11, stuff started scrolling across your TV screen. Now it's there all the time. Think how football games used to look. Or baseball games. They didn't have the score on the TV. Now there's so many graphics and things going on, you would be disappointed if they didn't have it. There's more information at our fingertips than we can possibly absorb. Start typing anything into Google and it already's thinking for you of what somebody else has searched for. So when I'm consulting with salespeople or business owners, they're like, we don't know how to find it. I'm like, not know how to find it? The answer is not you can't find it. The answer is just more than you could possibly comprehend and get your mind around. So what do we do? You know, you see some our time going at magazines. I own 2 magazines locally, do that nationally. Everybody's saying the same thing, guys. How do we get our message through? Oh, print advertising's dead. Oh, consulting, we don't need to bring in stuff to work with our sales and marketing people. We don't have enough time to do it. At the end of the day, everything has pluses and minuses. Facebook advertising has pluses and minuses. Consulting and human development has pluses and minuses. But if you're not investing in your 168 hours in the week and don't have a strategy and a vision and don't take time to do it, then it's going to be, I could have, would have, should have. I hear that, I could have done it, I should have done it, I would have done it. So that's what I want you to consider. Why is Twitter 140 characters? Does anybody know why Twitter began as 140 characters?
Text message.
Very good, excellent. And now, but people are finding workarounds, extended tweets and all these kind of things. See, traditional news is now breaking from Twitter versus the other way around. It's the opposite way around. You know, so if you put something in print advertising, it goes online because they want to share it with their Facebook friends, and then they want it to go back and forth, and everything points to each other in marketing. That's what's going on. And the changes are all over the place. So we have a society that's overloaded with, we want books when we want them. Think about Amazon. You used to go to a bookstore. Nobody goes to a bookstore. You know, think about music. You used to buy a CD or cassette or 8-track or whatever it was. You don't go to the, anybody from Atlanta remember Turtles? You know, music? You don't go and say, will you order this for me? You want to download it, just hit the button and you have it right then. So I'm going to butcher this because I'm not a singer, but think about the Queen song. I want it all, I want it all, I want it all, and I want it now. That's what your customers want. That's what my customers want. But unfortunately, we can only go so fast. Make sense? I mean, you know, we have to continually go, breathe. We want to be that solution for them in everything we do. So the word recreation, why we hear people say, God, I'm going to the lake this weekend. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the mountains. I'm going for a hike. What do those things have in common? They're all God-created things that make you disconnect from this constantly connected world. When I was on a cruise ship last summer, it doesn't work unless you buy the internet package. And it was so nice to tell people, I'm actually unavailable for a week. And guess what? The world went on. When I'm on a plane and you land, it's like an arcade in there. Boom, 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 what you doing? Is it that much you missed in an hour and a half, 2 hours? Okay. So, recreation is really a term, recreation. It's important for us to take that breath. So, if time is our most precious asset, are we doing things the right way with our time? Are we doing things the most efficient way? I mean, what should go on your start doing list? A couple things. And what should go on your stop doing list? I know there's some things that Freya just said something that really hit home. She said, I don't stop everything I'm doing when I'm working with a client to answer something right in front of me. And I'm really bad about it. If an email comes in, I read it and I respond to it, and I go, what was I working on? And I get all distracted. That's really not that effective. I'm just being candid. For me, I shouldn't do that. What needs to go on your start doing list? What needs to go on your stop doing list? Just pick a couple things. Can you describe whatever kind of organization you're in to get through this noise of our constantly connected world? Can you describe your organization in like 5 to 7 words, ideally 5 words? So I'll give you an example. My consulting company says, my business is growing your business. People are like, what are you, a therapist, an ad agency? No. You pull people in by simple is better. Can you define your organization in 1 word? And I would say, in my case, I'll say growth. Mentally, physically, spiritually, socially. I want to help people. Whatever I'm doing, I want to help them grow. So it's growth. Can you define your simple business statement so simple that people want to know more? You ping them all over the table, they pong it back. You've just pulled them in. But if I said, I'm running 2 magazines, I do this speaking, I was at this Chick-fil-A thing, I did this and do that, and travel over here to other people, oh my God, just shut up. No one cares. We have a short attention span. We are right now it's quiet. But I bet you, we're doing good, but it's thinking about somebody could be thinking about the things they got, the texts coming in and whatever. That's the world we live in. So I'm going to give you 9 C's. I'm trying to be sensitive to our time. I want you to consider sales has always been the ABC. What? Always be closing. And in my book, I argue in a human-to-human type world, we need to be absolutely be caring. There is so much, myself included, times I write emails and text and all this stuff that I waste more time writing 20 emails that simply could be handled. Guess what? Picking up the phone or talking to somebody. Boy, that's a novel idea. So what people are saying, they're like, wait a second, you're on Twitter and you got all these Twitter followers and you use LinkedIn and you've been using it for years, so you're saying it's all new school. Wait, or are you going Dale Carnegie and Stephen Covey on me? I'm saying it's a combination of both. You use the tools, the people don't change. It's about relationships. That hasn't changed. Human beings need relationships. And your tone to the person, just because it's electronic, there is a person on the other side. And just putting an LOL or a smiley face or an emoji doesn't get the job done. So be credible in your communications. Be credible. Be consistent. Online, offline, LinkedIn, in person, email. Be consistent. Be compelling. Pull people in. Remember, we're in a constantly connected world. Be concise. That's why we have 140 characters. People only are going to pay attention to so much. I wrote a blog post this week and I said, in 17 seconds, tell me, so what, why you, who cares? Don't mention price, service, or quality. And I had 6 people in the industries I consult and email me and go, we don't even know where to start. Now, service is starting to be a lost art, mind you, so I put that as a caveat. Service is one you can build on, but so what is what we're about to get into. Be concise, be committed. Be 100% committed to all your communication strategies. Be caring, we mentioned that. Your content's your information you provide, videos, information, with your clients or anybody that is you're trying to connect with, you need to be the resource to tell them everything they need to know. So if somebody sleeps with my magazine and says, well, we don't like print advertising instead, it's like, well, do you know what the algorithms have changed with Google AdWords? Do you know what's going on with Facebook advertising? Do you know what's going on with billboards? Do you know what's going on with TV? And they're like, you need to be knowledgeable about that. Whether they choose to use your business or not, you need to be able to talk their language. And clarity, it needs to be clear and understood. So I'm going to move to an under the iceberg mindset, the U. And what I want you to think of is visualize a iceberg in your mind. How much would you say of an iceberg, guessing, is above the water? And how much is below the water? Just take a stab at it. Amen?
10% above.
Perfect. What are we, 10% above the water, approximately 90%, like the Titanic, really deep. But what do we focus on most often? What we think. So what I want you to consider are what's and how's for your business are what we see. What we see, what our eyes can visually see, what we can touch, what we feel, what we can see. But what's really going on with human beings, or that person you're writing the email to, or the person you're sitting across the table from, is that deep, Y-level worldview and what's going on. So, I got a little exercise. Everybody stand up real quick. You're eating lunch, so I got a little exercise. Now I'm going to show you how my worldview and yours can be different, okay? So we'll just make it real simple. I'm going to ask a few questions, and if this does not describe you, just sit down. You are male. Okay, that's good. You are in your 40s. Okay. You have at least 3 kids. You have a master's degree or higher. You have all daughters. All right. That's a funny thing. So in 5 questions, all I'm saying is, I'm assuming a lot of people here from Georgia, maybe moved here. I could say I'm a native Georgian. But you see, just with 5 questions, how my worldview, how my deep level why might be different than yours, right? Because what? I see things, people have said things, where I went to school, what I've read, what I've done, what I've learned. You keep going, and we're going to get further and further apart. But that's why I might see something, and you might see something, and we see it differently. So, everybody, does anybody have a piece of paper in front of them, or can pretend to exercise with a pen? Does anybody have someone to show you something? You'll enjoy this if you can find it. Now, the younger the generations get, they ask me if they could do it on an iPad. It doesn't work quite as well, but if you have anything you can write on, it doesn't matter what it is. What I want you to do is just simply sign your name like you're at a restaurant and you're signing your check. And if you're not, just pretend. All right? I mean, most people's signatures days, you can't read them anyway. They just put initials. Is that difficult? Is that hard for you? Now, do the exact same thing under it with your opposite hand. With your opposite hand.
My signature looks about the same.
Think about it. Your opposite hand. Right. Now, my first question is, did you sign your name, even if you're practicing still, the second time with your opposite hand? Did you sign your name? Probably. Probably hard to read, maybe. Was it harder?
Yeah, sure.
Would you have to think about it more? If you broke your predominant hand and practiced over and over the other hand, would you get better? Probably. But did you ever feel most likely as comfortable? No. So what I'm saying to you is, under the iceberg, my natural default, if you said something about, oh, I know so-and-so, they went to Tucker High School like you did, Ryan. I'm like, if I love the person, something goes off in my mind. If I hated the person, something goes off in my mind, because that's my worldview. You see? It's like my handshake. I'm right-handed. So I'm going to walk up, I'm going to step like that. It's natural. But if I'm left-handed, I'm going to go. You're trying to remember what foot to step forward with. It's not as natural. It's not as comfortable. Okay? So we want to understand another person and our own, their deep level under the iceberg why. Okay? Think about things, if you really want to consider things I think about, why do coaches and athletes still say we need to watch film, we need to watch tape of the game? There is no film or tape of a game. Right? I asked all my football coach friends, they're like, it's all digital. But we've used that because it's been passed down over and over and over. These are the things you have to really think about. Or how about I like to show The Voice. I used to like American Idol back in the day. But they say things like this. When that comes out, I'm buying that record. Where exactly can you get a record? You know? But that's what we say. That's going to be a brilliant record. Really? Because it's probably going to be on MP3 on, whatever, Apple or Apple Play. So let me give you an example. How do you get somebody's why? They're deep under the iceberg mindset. Let's use church, because a lot of churches start at 11 o'clock. if I want to think at a deep level mindset, and let's say it's 10:45 a.m., and let's say a neighbor of mine mows their yard every Sunday at 10:45, like clockwork. If I wasn't thinking at a deep level, I might walk up and say, I noticed you mowing your grass here again today, like at 10:45. And he's like, yeah, it's good as time as any. I'm like, you're probably right. I said, well, your yard's looking good. I'm like, yep, trying to make it almost springtime. I'm like, all right, buddy, well, look forward to seeing you more this summer, and I'll walk off. It's very surface level. That's how a lot of our conversations go. However, if I were to say, I noticed you were, Bob, you always mow your grass at the same thing. It's funny, I see it every Sunday at 10:45. It's like, yeah, that's exactly right. Like, so why do you mow it at 10:45? I'll tell you why I do it. I'm trying to make a point. Why are you trying to make a point? So I'm making a point to all the people going to church that I'm not. Why are you trying to make a point that you're not going to church? Because when I was in church as a kid, the church turned their back on me, and people outside the church were more helpful. My family had some sick issues. Bingo. See, now I know what's going on with the guy. But most of us don't take time. I mean, if I walk up to somebody, and this is John over here, and I'm real busy, I'm like, hey, John, how's your weekend? I'm walking off. He's like, oh, Brian, you got a minute? How many of us do like, I was just being polite today? You know what I mean? I do, you want to check it off. Hey, man, how's your weekend? Great. Oh, you've got a minute. You want me to sit down? Okay. So, I want you to consider, for us to expand in this type of thinking, there's a difference, and it means you cannot, you're either moving forward or going backward if you want to be a deep thinker, if you really want to understand people and grow your organization. So let me show you what that means. You got to be growth oriented. Put your arm up and stretch your arm up. I can't complete this with this neck thing, but okay, arm over there. Now really stretch it up. Look how big it's like 3 inches up. That's the difference in good and great in understanding human beings in your organization. So what I want to move to now is I want to move to your brand. And your brand to me is the ultimate value you're selling. So I said constantly connected, the world we're living in, it never stops. I mean, the younger, multi-generational workplace, we can't say it's all the young people. No, it's everybody. Everybody's on things. I'm not on Snapchat. I understand how to use Snapchat now because my kids have shown me. Still don't understand it completely, but Snapchat's doing quite well financially. Twitter is not. I love Twitter. I love it. But there's reasons I use these tools, not just because I'm not a computer guy, okay? Because people are like, you're a computer guy. No, I'm a marketing communications guy. I break more computers than known to man, okay? So a brand makes a difference. Everyone has a brand. Your organization, you, me. It's not what if you have a brand, it's what you do with your brand. Your brand is also not what you say it is, it's what others say it is. So you want to purposely define your brand. In other words, if I said, why does everybody do business with so-and-so? Like, because the person tells me they do business with us because we're the best at what we do. Our prices certainly aren't the lowest. We're just excellent at the work we do, the customer service we provide. And I did a survey, and it came back. They do a pretty good job, but honestly, they're as cheap as we can find, and those don't align. There's a difference there. So I said, be purposeful, deliberate, and intentional in building your brand. Online, offline. Offline is what we're doing now. Online is everything else that is traditionally Facebook, Twitter, emails, text, etc. A brand is built upon trust. So remember, perception is reality. So everybody take your pen or anything, don't stab anybody, or a spoon, something safe, and follow what I'm going to do. Take it above your head like this. Watching your own pen or spoon or whatever. When I was at Fast Science National Speech, they had steak knives pointing at each other, so don't do that, please. So, all right, turn your pen clockwise towards the ceiling. Okay, looking up at your own pen or device, turn it clockwise towards the ceiling. Start slowly bringing it down, still pointing it straight up at the ceiling clockwise. Still pointing up the ceiling to about eye level. You're still going clockwise, still pointing your pen straight at the ceiling. Start bringing it down a little more, still going clockwise, still pointing straight at the ceiling. Start looking down now at your pen, still pointing clockwise, going straight at the ceiling. And which way does your pen appear to be going? What changed? Right. That's what branding and marketing and everything's about. In an authentic, genuine way. There's no shortcuts, whatever. It's the way people see stuff. Doesn't matter if you have 200 people or one person. Perception, my perception is my reality, right? So that's how it looks. I'm going to give you a brand acronym to remember. It's the baseline, a measurement, if you will, of your reputation, your attributes, your name, and your distinctiveness. What does that mean? The baseline measurement of your reputation. What's a reputation? If I said, oh man, I know John Smith, he lives in Chattanooga and you're nothing right near you. And the other guy goes, yeah, I know John. Okay. Second time he says, I know John Smith, he lives right near you. He says, oh man, that guy's amazing. When my dad hurt his back one summer, he mowed our yard the entire summer. Can't say enough about John. The first person didn't say anything bad about John Smith, but yet told me a lot. Your brand. Your attributes, what characteristics do people use to define your organization, yourself? Your name, what's in a name? A lot. A lot's in a name. When somebody says a name, if it's a cousin of yours you don't like or an old friend, something pops in your head. That goes back to that second thing I said. Something goes to your head. You may keep it inside, but you think something. And distinctiveness. How distinct, how unique, how do you get your message through of your value proposition when it's so noisy and people are on their phone and not paying attention? Difficult. So let me ask you these questions. You know, when we say things like, we offer one-stop shopping, we have an experienced team, we have a family-run business, we have great customer service, high-quality work, competitive pricing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know, everybody says these things to a certain degree. So you may say, well, what are we supposed to say? It's not that those things are wrong, but there has to be that deep-level why as a part of them to explain what's in it for them. When I wrote my first book, Everyone's in Sales, the publisher said to me, Ryan, everyone's in sales. I like the idea. So what? Why you? And who cares? That's what he said to me. I said, what does that mean? He's like, so what? Everyone's in sales. Why you? Why are you the person to write the book? And who cares? Who's this book even written to? Now, you mind you, if you've worked on something for a long time, what's your first feeling? Your feelings are hurt. You know, like, well, but more I thought about it, I was like, you know, he said a book written for everybody is a book written to nobody. So my first book was really written to non-traditional salespeople because I said, good sales. There is no sales. It's about building a relationship, and if it's a fit, it's a fit. That's what I believe. And people say, well, some people believe differently. Great, they can believe differently. But, you know, so be thinking, you know, so what, you know, when your organization's been in business since 1985, what does that mean to the end person you're marketing to? I had a client of mine in Kansas, they'd been in business since 1901, and every salesperson I went out with would say, and also, we had been in business since 1901. You'd have like a 25-year-old on the other side like, and I'm like, I'd interject and say, same people are answering the phones as well. And they're like, but what they needed to say was, we've had 3 successful generations, like they did when I was at Chick-fil-A today. I met the 3rd generation today of the Cathys. And each generation has built upon the success of the other generation and given back and done more, which has allowed us to have a stronger cash position, to help our employees with training, to help our customers, to help our community. That means a ton to me. You have to go deeper. Why you? Be thinking of your business. Why are you the company? So what, why you? Why are you the best at what you do? It doesn't matter. I had a friend of mine who runs a staffing business, and he asked me a few years ago, he's Ryan, I don't know all this marketing stuff. I don't know what you want me to say to so what, why you, who cares? And he got all mad, and I like it. He's like, you know what, my handshake means something. He's like, you know, there's a problem, I make it right. He's like, you know, I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm like, bingo, buddy, you just did it. He's like, I'm like, don't hit me, all right? I just had to pull it out of you. He went a little rocky crazy on me, but he, you know, that's what's deep. And he was right. So there's no trickery. It's who you are. Who cares? Are you seen as a value or a cost? It's a huge difference. Are you seen as a value or a cost? Think about your business. Do you have just satisfied customers or do you have raving fans? Ask yourself that. Big difference. You like working with so-and-so? Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. Yeah, it's good. Or, man, absolutely, I refer 50 people, as many people as I can. I think the world of them. I would work for them if I could. That's a huge difference. Are you a solutions partner? Or are you a transactional vendor? Solutions partner is going to sit beside someone on the table, building a relationship and a strategy to move forward. A transactional vendor is going to sit across that proverbial table with somebody, and it almost has a barrier, and a lot of it comes down to price. Price is just that. It's the cost of something, a product, a service, whatever it is. But value is price plus whatever goods or service you're offering plus one other key dynamic that ties this book together, you. If you don't bring something to the value proposition, all you are is an insurance or goods or service or magazine space or whatever it may be plus a price. That's it. That's not value. And that's what a lot of people sell and market with. People can copy your organization's ideas. People can copy, I've seen more people copy ideas at speeches I've given around the country. A few years ago, I did a break the box session as part of what I was doing. This was maybe 5 years ago. The next year, I came back to Las Vegas, a guy was doing a break the box session. And they were like, isn't that what you kind of did last year? I'm like, it's a compliment. I don't care. Who cares? The content's not going to be the same. Only you can be you. So who are you competing with? Yourself. You have a God-given set of skills to do what you do. I have skills to do what I do. Our goal is to take those and market those to our advantage because no one else can be us. So let me ask you a couple questions. We're coming to the very end. When I say Walmart, what do you think? I would put up in the slide. When you see the Walmart logo, what comes to your mind like adjectives to define Walmart?
Cheap.
Cheap. You getting great customer service at Walmart?
24 hours.
You know, if you go to mine, you got like 12 people standing there like, we ain't opening that line. It's like, you can stand there all you want. But you're going there because of the price and the, you know, they have stuff. How about a Ritz-Carlton now? You expected to get that on Hotwire, Expedia, a down and dirty price? What do you expect? Service. And if you come to your room and it's not well kept, you're going to be doing what? Going, hey, right, exactly. How about this one? A Nike, the little swoosh that a college student designed. If you don't know that story, college student intern designed the little swoosh in the late 1970s. What is Nike? I do a lot of work with the promotional products business where you put your name on everything. The same shirts are the ones with Nike and without. It's just $20 more worth of Nike on it. So what, when you see Nike, what do you think?
I think quality.
Quality, okay, it comes to mind. So people say, I want a Nike windbreaker, Ryan. Okay, well, it's $50. I'll get you the same thing without it for $30. The exact same thing. Nope, I want the Nike on it. So one of my friends, she's a principal, a good friend of my wife's, she got really into running a few years ago. And I mean, doing 5Ks and 10Ks. So when she first got into it, about 2 weeks into it, she showed up at our house. She had jogged about a mile over. It was all decked out, visor stuff, everything Nike. And I'm like, you know, that's probably going to take a couple minutes off your time. I mean, honestly, I got to tell you, wearing that Nike stuff, she's like, shut up. You know, so, but the point is, that's what we buy into. That's what we believe. That's that deep level why. And that's why that branding works. So I'm going to give you 6 eyes of branding just to consider and tie it all together right now. Incredible branding. Just be incredible in your branding. Don't do anything that's not you, but put stuff out there and be incredible. Be distinctive. Be intentional again. Online, offline. There has to be a reason of everything you do in marketing and communications. And for God's sakes, before I forget, do not let some teenage kid, because you think they're good with computers, control your social media and marketing. And they're like, what do you mean, Ryan? I'm like, if you're good with somebody sticking up, them putting a billboard on 85 up here without your approval, go for it. They're like, I would never do that. Well, that's what you're doing. If you're good with somebody sending a blind carbon copy email to the world, and without your approval, go for it. Oh, no, they're just really good with computers. Computers and marketing communications are completely different things. Informative. We talked about that earlier in your brain. Be informative. Be inspirational. Pull people to action like Nike does. Innovative. Again, pulling people with new ideas, creative ways to do things, make their lives easier. And integrity. To me, all human relationships are built on honesty, ethics, and integrity. So in 2016, our brand, remember we're saying, would you buy from you? You're competing with yourself because every person in every business has 8 million people online, down the street, wherever, saying the same things. They can get the same things. They can do the same things. And if all the difference is just your lower price, that's a losing proposition because none of us can win that battle. So we must think as salespeople, if we're salespeople, we must think with a marketing broad approach. If we think as marketers, we must think about how does that work in sales. And then I want us to develop a pact. This is the answer to would you buy from you. A pact, defined by the dictionary, is a formal agreement between people. So when I was finishing up the book, it came to me of a pact. And I said a pact, to me, the best sales in the world is passion, excitement, and energy. So passion, authenticity, being real, being transparent. Doesn't mean you don't screw up, but you're real. You're who you are with your friends, with your business. You don't pretend to be something you're not. Authenticity is A. Passion is P. Authenticity. Creative. Being creative in your approach. Like the year I sent all my clients Halloween cards. They thought I was insane, but they remembered 25 years later. Why did I do it? Because I wanted them to. They thought I was very strange, but that's okay. But most importantly, the T, trust. would you refer anybody to anyone if you didn't trust them? I mean, I don't. I mean, and if you say, yeah, he did my teeth, but he pulled the wrong tooth. I mean, nobody's going to do that. You got to absolutely unequivocally trust, and that's huge. So, in summary, we live in a constantly connected, nonstop. Hey, let me ask one last thing. Who thinks this device here, you can say yes, it pulls up all the stuff in my phone, might be the best device ever created? Some people. And who here thinks this could be the worst device ever created? Right? And I think it could be that. So here are my questions for you. Remember, constantly connected world, how do you break through the noise? You gotta have clarity how you do it. You gotta think at the deep, under the iceberg, why level, to really understand another person, not walking by and say, hey Bob, oh, if you really wanna spend time with them. And then your brand, your unique DNA is what separates you. Obviously your price is important. If that's the only factor, it's a losing proposition. So without a pact, here's what you look like. Alice in Wonderland as I close. Alice comes to the fork in the road and says, Cheshire Cat, which way do I go? And the Cheshire Cat says to Alice, where are you going? And Alice says, I don't know. Then the Cheshire Cat says, then it doesn't really matter what road you take. And a lot of us don't know what road we take. We're like that raft in the ocean that just floats, and then you get spit out down the beach. 3 types of people in organizations. There's those who make things happen, there's those who watch things happen, and there's those who wonder what happens. And I challenge you to be a make things happen person. And so that, I'm going to open up to questions and answers. I brought a few extra books. If you're interested, I'll pass that around. I got my cards if you would like any of that. But beyond that, I'd like to open up to, if you have any questions or thoughts or comments.